Let's talk about one of the most influential figures in media, Oprah Winfrey. We're gonna look at some red flags that perhaps we should have paid more attention to. While Oprah has certainly accomplished much in her career, like all of us, she is not without her flaws and controversies. So grab your popcorn and sit back and enjoy us as we explore the less known side of Oprah Winfrey's journey. Starting off with objectifying Cindy Crawford. Oprah Winfrey, the queen of talk shows, found herself in the middle of controversy for asking supermodel Cindy Crawford to stand up during an interview to show her body. It happened on the Oprah Winfrey Show, a platform known for its profound conversations. Oprah, always a straight shooter, asked Cindy to stand, catching the supermodel slightly off guard. There was a mix of reactions, with some viewers thinking it was completely normal given Cindy's status as a world-renowned supermodel, while others saw it as somewhat objectifying. In hindsight, the controversy invites a conversation about body image, respect, and the way we view celebrities. It's important to remember that even as we appreciate the beauty and talent of individuals, we should always strive to respect their comfort and consent. So what's your opinion on this controversial moment? Do you think Oprah was out of line, or was it just an innocent request in the context of the interview? Be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments section. Reflecting on the encounter 37 years later on Apple TV's The Supermodels, Cindy said, "I was like the chattel or a child, be seen and not heard. As an iconic supermodel who has graced countless magazine covers, walked down hundreds of runways, and fronted successful advertising campaigns, Cindy Crawford is not one to shy away from the fashion industry's dark side." In the latest Apple TV docuseries, she opens up about her early days as a model in New York City and how she felt pressured to conform to unrealistic beauty standards. Next, asking Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen what clothing size they wore. When Mary-Kate and Ashley appeared on the show in 2004, Oprah brought up rumors that they had eating disorders. After the 18-year-olds told her they tried not to read the good or the bad things people wrote about them, she asked what clothing sizes they wore. This just goes to show how early body image issues can start for young girls in the entertainment industry. Being in the spotlight at such a young age can lead to a warped perception of what is considered normal or acceptable. As they say, beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, but unfortunately, that message isn't always portrayed in Hollywood. The pressure to maintain a certain weight and appearance in the public eye can also lead to unhealthy behaviors and lifestyle choices. Eating disorders are a serious issue that can have long-lasting effects on an individual's physical and mental health. It's important for young girls in the entertainment industry to have a strong support system and to prioritize their health over societal expectations. But it's not just celebrities who face this pressure. With the rise of social media, everyone is now under constant scrutiny when it comes to their appearance. Asking Nathan Lane about his sexuality. During an interview with Oprah, the issue of Nathan's sexuality was raised given his role as an openly gay character in the movie. Being a private person, Nathan wasn't prepared to delve into this topic publicly at the time, but displaying his quick wit and camaraderie, Robin smoothly diverted the conversation by cracking a lighthearted joke. During the talk show, Robin showed his support for Nathan's character and shared how important representation is in the entertainment industry. He expressed his admiration for Nathan's talent as an actor and praised him for being brave enough to take on such a role. It was quick thinking on Robin's part, but this just goes to show the ignorance in Oprah's interview style. In a 2023 episode of Sunday Sit Down, Nathan expressed his feelings about his encounter with Oprah. He said, "I don't think Oprah was trying to out me, but I said to Robin beforehand, I'm not prepared. I'm so scared of going out there and talking to Oprah. I'm not prepared to discuss that I'm gay on national television. I'm not ready." And Robin said, "Oh, it's all right. Don't worry about it. We don't have to talk about it. We won't talk about it." Rest in peace, Robin Williams. The issue of representation in the entertainment industry is one that has been gaining more and more attention over the years. It's obvious that there is a need for diversity and inclusivity on screen. This also extends to the LGBTQ+ community, where representation has often been lacking or stereotyped. However, with the increasing demand for more diverse and authentic storytelling, we are seeing a positive change in the industry. Drew Brees' awkward moment. During a 2010 appearance on her show, Oprah made an amusing error when she encountered NFL quarterback Drew Brees. Oprah tried to wipe away a smudge on Drew Brees' face, thinking it was a lipstick stain, but oh wait, there's no lipstick. It's Brees' birthmark. Talk about a live TV moment. Brees handled the situation with grace and explained it to Oprah, who seemed genuinely surprised and quickly moved on with the interview. Personally, I think she shouldn't have even touched him without permission, but we can see this trend already where Oprah doesn't seem to have boundaries when it comes to the guests on her show. However, this incident highlights a bigger issue in our society, the pressure to conform to certain beauty standards. Brees' birthmark is a natural and unique part of his appearance, yet Oprah's immediate reaction was to try and remove it as if it were an imperfection. It's important for us all to learn from this mistake and recognize that everyone is beautiful in their own way, birthmarks and all. We should celebrate our differences and embrace them instead of trying to hide hide or change them. This also extends to other aspects of our appearance, such as skin color, body shape, and hair texture. Society often puts pressure on individuals to fit into a narrow definition of beauty, causing self-consciousness and insecurities. Prying on Elizabeth Taylor's life. In a classic moment from 1988, Elizabeth Taylor expertly sidestepped Oprah's probing questions regarding her rumored love interests. This amusing interaction saw Oprah playfully chiding Elizabeth for her evasive answers. But this moment also shed light on the many issues celebrities face, the constant scrutiny of their personal lives and relationships. As public figures, they are often subject to intense media attention and speculation surrounding their romantic partners. This intense focus on their love lives can take a toll on both their mental health and relationships. Many celebrities have spoken out about feeling like they constantly have to defend and explain their relationships to the public. This can lead to feelings of pressure, invasion of privacy, and even relationship strain. But celebrities aren't the only ones affected by this constant scrutiny. It also affects their partners, who often have to deal with being thrust into the spotlight without consent or choice. This lack of privacy can make it difficult for their partners to maintain a sense of normalcy and can strain the relationship. When Oprah and Elizabeth Taylor had playful banter about dating rumors surrounding the actress, Oprah was insistent on getting a straight answer from her guest, but Elizabeth playfully dodged her questions and kept the conversation lighthearted. This exchange between two powerful women in entertainment sheds light on the pressure celebrities face to constantly address things that's going on in their lives. It is a little exhausting, and I probably would hate that too. But despite their celebrity status, these women were able to have a playful and genuine interaction, showcasing the power of strong female friendships. Now on to the next, and this might be one of the worst ones I've seen. Asking Michael Jackson invasive questions. In 1993, Oprah asked Michael Jackson if he was a virgin, then pressured him to answer when he tried to skirt around it. This moment on the Oprah Winfrey Show sparked controversy and backlash, as many viewers felt it was inappropriate to pry into the personal life of a celebrity. It also shed light on the double standards and intrusive nature of media interviews. The controversy surrounding Oprah's question to Michael Jackson illuminated the intrusive dynamics often present in celebrity interviews. Public figures, while certainly subjected to media scrutiny, still possess a right to personal privacy. This incident drew criticism as it seemed to cross boundaries of personal decency, delving into a topic that many believed should be considered private even for a public figure. The backlash demonstrated a growing public awareness and rejection of such invasive media tactics, thus further fueling discussions about the ethics of celebrity journalism. As an influential and popular talk show host, Oprah had a significant platform and could easily manipulate the direction of the conversation. Michael Jackson, on the other hand, was a guest on her show and may have felt compelled to answer personal questions in order to maintain a positive image or not offend his host. This power dynamic further highlighted the problematic nature of this particular interview and other similar incidents in the media. Inappropriate interview in front of kids. The Turtles were on stage, surrounded by a sea of ecstatic kids. Then Oprah, in her inimitable style, decided to stir the pot. She asked the Turtles a relationship question about their human friend April O'Neil, a relationship question to a bunch of mutant turtles in front of an audience of children. But let's get back to that question from Oprah. Why did she think it was acceptable to ask that in front of an audience filled with kids? Sounds irresponsible to me. Let's take a closer look at the situation. On one hand, it could be argued that Oprah was simply trying to have some fun and engage with the audience by asking a lighthearted question. After all, the turtles are fictional characters and therefore not subject to the same societal norms as real humans. On the other hand, we can see why some might find it inappropriate. The turtles are portrayed as young, impressionable heroes who are meant to be role models for children. Asking about their romantic relationships could potentially send mixed messages to young viewers. On to the next, asking Dolly Parton what she's gotten done. The legendary Dolly Parton, an icon known for her country music and vibrant persona, was a guest on the Oprah Winfrey Show. The interview was sailing smoothly until Oprah, with her trademark candor, ventured into a topic that celebrities often shy away from: cosmetic surgery. Yeah, you heard it right. Oprah asked Dolly Parton directly about her cosmetic surgeries, which felt a little out of place or even intrusive to some. And how did Dolly respond? With her signature humor and grace, of course. She openly admitted to having numerous surgeries but added a twist to it. Dolly joked that if she had the money to make herself look the way she wanted, why wouldn't she? Her honesty and confidence in her own choices was refreshing and empowering. On to the next, about Brad Pitt's tattoos. A 2008 interview with Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett on the Oprah Winfrey Show. During the interview, a curious viewer called in to ask Brad about the meaning behind his tattoos, but here's the catch. Brad chose to remain tight-lipped about it. Brad shook his head with a smile. I don't really want to talk about them. Interestingly, Oprah didn't let it go just there. In her trademark style, she turned the question back to the fan, leading to a lively and intriguing conversation, completely disregarding regarding the fact that Brad initially did not want to talk about them. Asking about Burt Reynolds' toupee. In a 2021 episode of Literally with Rob Lowe, Oprah admitted to making a significant error. She recalled asking Sally Field an impertinent question about whether her then partner Burt Reynolds slept with his toupee on. Following this, she described the actor's reaction as becoming distant and unresponsive. In the interview, Oprah shared how she regretted asking such a personal question and how it affected her relationship with Sally Field. This incident serves as a reminder that even influential figures like Oprah can make mistakes and should take responsibility for their actions. It also highlighted the importance of being respectful and considerate in interviews, especially when discussing sensitive or private topics.
Number 10. Unseasoned chicken. I dislike unseasoned food more than anyone, I think. Well, probably the same amount as any other person of color. Anyway, Oprah definitely feels the same way I do, because when a guest on her show presented her with a plate of beige, sad-looking food, she took a bite and immediately asked for extra salt and pepper to be added to this dish of food, to which the guest responded, "There is no salt and no pepper." Moment of silence here for the poor bird that died just to be cooked in such a disrespectful manner. Oprah was shocked. The audience was shocked. The dead bird on the plate was shocked. Everyone was shocked. I don't know how this lady thought it would be a good idea to feed a multi-millionaire, ultra-famous, hella influential black woman a plate of unseasoned chicken. Like, girl, go get some culture. Go taste some mashed potatoes that aren't made from powder, please. Number 9. Jay Leno. In a jaw-dropping interview on Oprah, Jay Leno unleashed a ton of confessions and excuses, revealing the messy reality behind his return to The Tonight Show, in which he was accused of having a part in the network's decision to reinstate him as The Tonight Show host while canning Conan O'Brien. Admitting to telling a white lie about retiring in 2004, Leno blamed the chaos on a multitude of factors, including being sucker punched by Jimmy Kimmel while he appeared on The Leno Show. Oprah, surprisingly unsympathetic, challenged Leno on his past jabs at fellow comedians, particularly Jimmy Kimmel's big jaw remark, which led to Leno hitting back at him with dark jabs at Letterman's unfaithfulness towards his wife. Leno defended his decision to accept the role on the show as an attempt to keep his staff employed. He acknowledged the show's failure but justified taking back his old job when offered. A surprising poll result from Oprah's audience revealed overwhelming support for Conan O'Brien in the midst of the mess. Leno's attempt to deflect blame onto NBC's handling of the situation took a dark turn, and the interview left viewers questioning Leno's actions and motives, making it clear that the fallout from this Oprah appearance would definitely linger. Number 8. Cindy Crawford. This American model and actress was a guest on the Oprah show in 1986 when Crawford was just 20 years old, alongside John Casablancas, who was her rep at Elite Modeling Agency at the time. In the resurfaced clip, Oprah asks Casablancas if Crawford has always had her body, before asking her to stand as she states, "Now this is what you call a body." Well, now the supermodel had appeared on the docu-series called The Supermodels, where she reflects on this moment, and she refers to herself as a child because she had not felt seen and not heard. Crawford admits she didn't notice it at the time, but now looking at it, Oprah does state, "Stand up and show us your body. Show us why you're worthy of being here," which made her uncomfortable as the model says this is not okay, especially from Oprah. As of now, Oprah hasn't commented on this situation, but many viewers have spoken up about this moment that was captured for television. Gig King was actually asked about this situation, where she admits she hasn't seen the clip but has heard about it, stating she felt disappointed and surprised in Oprah. However, there isn't any feud or anything between Oprah and Crawford according to King. As she stated, "As far as I know, everything is good between Oprah and Cindy." What do you think about Oprah's requests to Crawford during that interview? Number 7. Elizabeth Taylor. In 1988, Elizabeth Taylor joined Oprah for an interview where she was questioned about her relationship and the myriad of dating rumors surrounding her at the time. Elizabeth didn't say much to answer these questions, as she likely wanted to keep personal information private, but Oprah wanted more. She began to reply sarcastically to Elizabeth by stating, "You're so revealing. You gotta stop talking so much, Miss Taylor," which then Elizabeth clapped back with, "This is what your friends wanted, right?" Which didn't seem to impress Oprah, as she then said, "I just want to know. Tell me so we can all go home. If you tell me, I'll go home." Prior to this interview, Elizabeth had actually given Oprah a heads up and told her to avoid questions about her relationship, but it didn't really seem like Oprah followed these requests, and she even came out to say that this interview was still painful to watch for many reasons, including her bad hair. I mean, especially with the heads up before the interview started, Oprah could have and definitely should have avoided this entire incident by simply following Taylor's requests. Number 6. Lance Armstrong. Cyclist Lance Armstrong tried to clear his name when he spoke to Winfrey about using performance-enhancing drugs. The host asked him several questions, including, "Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?" To which Armstrong quickly answered yes, admitting his wrongdoing and stating he would spend the rest of his life apologizing to people and trying to remedy the situation. The cyclist insisted that he was not doping when he returned in 2009, but the US Anti-Doping Agency CEO said Armstrong lied again. Also, Anti-Doping Agency is kind of a crazy sentence and an even worse or better name. Despite Oprah's achievement in securing the interview, many spoke out about the flaws in the set and camera work as well as Armstrong's perceived lack of genuine remorse. Drawing comparisons to iconic TV confessions, the suggestion is made that Oprah could have taken a different approach to elicit more compelling responses from Armstrong. Many wonder if Armstrong would have agreed to the interview under a more critical stance, ultimately portraying Oprah as potentially too forgiving and going way too easy on the cyclist. Number 5. James Frey. In 2005, Oprah Winfrey's book club picked up the book from author James Frey, which was a memoir. Oprah spoke very highly of the book, giving it a glowing review, but after it was revealed that his memoir was actually comprised of mostly made-up stories, he went on Oprah's show to apologize and hopefully to clear his name. There he said, "I don't have a lot of respect for the genre," which, okay, pause, because why would you write a memoir then? It seems like you don't respect yourself at that point. He also claimed that he believed most people who wrote memoirs fabricated many of the stories within, so what he did wasn't that bad, I guess? He just got caught. I mean, like, if you're writing made-up stories, then you're just a fiction writer at that point. Time to release a dystopian series, James Frey, or wait, does he not respect that genre either? I guess he'd write fiction whether you respected it or not. Number 4. Lindsay Lohan. In the OWN docuseries featuring Lindsay Lohan titled Lindsay, Oprah Winfrey is seen urging Lohan to be truthful and cut out the nonsense in her quest for recovery. The unusual exchange raises concerns about the intertwining of Lohan's recovery process with the reality show format, seemingly unpacking her rehabilitation for public consumption and entertainment. This approach seemingly contradicts the principles of AA, which emphasizes private and anonymous recovery, and publicizing the struggle with addiction can hinder the chances of success. Many questioned Oprah's role in potentially exploiting Lohan's journey for the sake of entertainment, and noted the inherent risks of making the recovery process a public spectacle. While at the time this premise seemed to fit Lohan's dual goals of sobriety and making a comeback to the industry, many are still critical of Oprah to this day from seemingly exploiting Lindsay. Number 3. The Olsen sisters. They appeared in a 2004 interview with Oprah where they were confronted with rumors. At the time, the two sisters were 18 years old, and the rumors were regarding these girls and their eating habits. Oprah says, "I know a new rumor that's recently surfaced has really upset you, right? You know the one about eating?" And the twins responded by saying, "Either you're too fat or you're too skinny. People are going to write what they want. We try not to read the good, the bad," and to that response it seems like they got the awkward question out of the way, right? Nope, because Oprah thought the appropriate follow-up question was, "What size are you, by the way?" And of course this clip resurfaced all over the internet in 2021, with many viewers feeling bad for the twins, especially because Oprah pointed that rumor out towards these young stars, which made some fans believe the twins were uncomfortable. Number 2. Sally Field. Oprah asked this actress an extremely uncomfortable and honestly inappropriate question regarding her former partner, Burt Reynolds, during a sit-down years ago. Winfrey asked Fields whether Burt slept with his toupee on or off, and for Fields' response, she went cold on Winfrey. Winfrey herself addressed this awkward interview back in 2021, where she revealed she now cringes at the thought of asking Fields that horrific and very surface-level kind of boring interview question. She also understands why Fields went cold following that question, but Oprah, as she said, knows she deserved it. Oprah does claim her producers said she had to ask Fields that question, which she did, and it caused Fields to completely shut off, and Oprah says they were both unable to get into the groove of the interview again. Number 1. Tom Cruise. This one was extremely popular and talked about. Though if we're being honest, I really don't see what all the fuss and uproar was about, but you know, whatever, it was early 2000s, I wasn't alive, whatever. This gets our first place spot due to the damage it was expected to do on the ultra-famous Tom Cruise's career. While appearing on Oprah's talk show, Tom Cruise began jumping up and down on the couch like an actual child, screaming that he was in love and then air punching the floor, or something like that. I'm honestly not sure. Tell me what you think he's doing, please, because I don't know. Anyway, Oprah's reaction to this whole ordeal is what actually makes this entire thing so awkward. She looks at him like he is actually insane, like he's this weird creature, which I mean, fair, but it creates a very awkward air that surrounds the entirety of the interaction. After the incident, Tom Cruise faced a lot of backlash in the up-and-coming tabloid universe and displayed for the first time just how much power and influence tabloids are capable of wielding.
Number 10, underpaying celebrities. This past week on Instagram, Taraji P. Henson delivered a tearful interview that touched on her financial struggles and alluded to the fact that she was being underpaid. And all of this happened while she was promoting the new musical The Color Purple, which was produced by Oprah herself. During this interview, she expressed that she was tired of working hard and getting paid a fraction of what she deserved. In fact, at one point she said she was even contemplating leaving her acting career behind. She told the host that she hears people talk about how hard she works, but the math just isn't mathing. So there is an entire team of people above her that make the majority of the money in the film industry. She voiced her frustrations that every time she does something and breaks through another glass ceiling in Hollywood, when it comes time to negotiate, she is somehow at the bottom again, like she never did what she just did. So that wears on her mental health, because the question is, why? And what does it mean for her as an actor? Gabrielle Union was there and she backed up her claims, saying that there was not a word of a lie told by this woman. Viola Davis also reposted that clip to her Instagram, simply with the caption, "This," with a few hands pointing up. A little while back, Taraji was seriously considering leaving the US altogether and living in another country. Considering how stellar of an actor she is along with the rest of the cast, Hollywood really needs to get their act together and just pay their people. Number 9, blackballing. Now this story is crazy. The famous comedian Monique has spoken out about confronting Oprah Winfrey over an episode of her talk show that involved her estranged family in 2010. She accused Oprah, as well as filmmakers Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry, of blackballing her in the industry. So in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Monique recounted the strain in her relationship with Oprah because of the time that the talk show host welcomed her estranged family, including her eldest brother, onto the show in 2010. Following her Oscar win that year, Oprah informed Monique that her brother called her and wanted to be on the show to let parents know how they can watch out for creepy people. Apparently she said, "Do you want to come on the show? Because he wants to apologize to you." In response, she said, "Oprah, I don't want any part of that." While she gave her blessing to tape the show with her brother, she was horrified to see other family members like her parents and another one of her brothers downplay what actually happened to her. Number 8, dissing The View. While speaking on The View earlier this week, Oprah appeared to drop some major shade both towards the film The Color Purple and the people who were involved with The View. So the producers of The View were very upset that she would not be appearing alongside the cast of the film on one of their episodes. They were hoping to have a kind of reunion involving Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah, because as we know, they both starred in the 1985 version of The Color Purple. But that turned out to be a missed opportunity because Oprah did not appear on the program. The reason that The View was particularly annoyed with her absence is because she has been appearing on other talk shows to promote the film. She went on the Drew Barrymore show and Sherry Shepherd's Sherry. So around the same time, she gave a candid interview with People magazine about her recent weight loss and how she was aided by medication. But back to The View, despite Oprah's absence, the episode was well received, and Whoopi said that she felt a strong connection with the people who did end up showing up. Number 7, that Drew Barrymore moment. It seems like Drew just cannot keep her hands to herself, and fans have become quite outraged at her behavior. The actress was blasted as cringy after uncomfortably caressing Oprah Winfrey on an episode of the Drew Barrymore show. In the clip, the two of them were seen cozied up on the couch while talking about the importance of interacting with the studio audience. Drew tightly held onto Oprah's hand while running her other hand up and down her arm. She said, "Something that I learned about you, because I didn't know this in detail, was that you would spend time with the audience outside of the show you were filming." Oprah then seemed to be trying to get out of her grasp because she adjusted her seating position while answering that question. She said, "It is necessary. My crew used to be like, oh my god, how much time are you going to spend talking to the audience?" Drew then let go of her guest while she was preparing to ask something else. For her part, Oprah then started talking with her hands while applauding Drew for running the daytime talk show without an audience during the pandemic. Number 6, the NDAs. NDAs. Confidentiality agreements are not uncommon in the world of Hollywood, as we know. In Kitty Kelly's tell-all book about Oprah, the author mentions the confidentiality agreements that co-workers and guest stars were made to sign. This included everyone from Tom Cruise to the person who made Tom Cruise's muffin. Over 500 staff members were forced to sign the document. Apparently, one former employee by the name of Elizabeth Cody tried to write a book about her time working for Oprah, but she was stopped by the courts because she was still tied to the agreement that she signed. These NDAs were not meant to be a way just to keep the show secret safe, but any and all secrets that Oprah kept as well. According to Elizabeth, the documents were signed by almost everyone in her life. Now, she might have this brand of sweetness and kindness, but that is not exactly how she is. Elizabeth felt that she was in Oprah's pocket after she signed the paperwork. In 2010, a lawsuit was filed against Oprah and her company, Unica's Performance Training, claiming that they were being fired for violating the terms of her agreement, specifically involving the advertising with her name or the website of the show. Number 5, strange beliefs. Oprah has had plenty of controversial people on her show, from the so-called medical experts to psychologists and even celebrities. But one particular incident that caused a lot of backlash for her was when she did an interview with Suzanne Summers. She was brought onto the show to share her beauty secrets about how she was able to look so young. According to Summers, this treatment that she does on a regular basis will help, and she claims that she rubs estrogen cream into her skin on one arm and smears progesterone in her other arm. She also claimed that she took 60 supplements and vitamins a day, 40 in the morning and 20 before bed. What really stood the pot was that this woman claimed to be a health expert and a self-help author, but surprisingly, she was not. Medical experts started bashing Oprah, claiming that this type of extreme hormone therapy would actually be the cause of several diseases and illnesses, potentially even cancer. Despite Suzanne's claim that her specially made, non-FDA approved bioidenticals are natural and are safe, they are actually just synthetic, conventional hormones that you could buy from a pharmacy. So Oprah did everything in her power to sell this idea to her audience, believing 100% that the methods were useful, even claiming to have used these methods to make her feel incredible. This person would rather risk her audience potentially getting cancer than just tell them the truth. Number 4, the car situation. So everyone knows Oprah's famous words, "You get a car and you get a car and everyone gets a car." This was a historical moment of her series, and it was parodied time and time again. In fact, it is still memed to this day. However, what many people don't know is that when someone gives out anything on television, there is always a catch. Of course there is. For Oprah's audience, the catch was that if they wanted to drive away in their brand new car, they would have to pay over $7,000 in taxes first. While Oprah's studio would cover the sales tax and the registration for each car, their audience members were given a choice to either pay the $7,000 or simply take the cash instead. The infamous moment on the show featured 11 real teachers who were, according to Oprah, in desperate need of a new car. They, along with the audience, received keys in a box that was all caught on camera that Oprah claimed to be there for the new car. But of course, everything has a catch. For someone who was known as being charitable and generous, the word free clearly means something completely different to Oprah. Number 3, fake memoir. Oprah launched her book club in 1996 and had a reading encouragement segment on her talk show where she talked about any book that she chose into a bestseller. In September of 2005, Oprah picked A Million Little Pieces, a brutal and painful memoir by James Frey about his years-long struggle with substance issues. A Million Little Pieces became the best-selling non-fiction book of the year, and Frey was asked to appear on her talk show to discuss the book that Oprah called gut-wrenching. But the following year, a news outlet ran an explosive article about Frey after it was discovered that he had either made up or juiced large portions of his memoir. For example, there is a section of the book that tells a story of Frey surviving a fatal train crash that took the lives of 2 teenagers. But it turned out that he was never on that train, nor did he have any involvement in that situation. Weeks after the article broke, Oprah asked Frey to return to the show, where he faced livid viewers and an even more livid Oprah. She told James that she felt duped and betrayed, a feeling that was shared by her audience and millions of readers around the world. She asked James why he felt the need to lie to herself and her readers, and he tried everything, making every excuse in the world. He claimed that he altered a lot of details, but that the overall plot was still real. The studio audience then responded with a massive wave of boos, gasps, and groans. Winfrey later apologized for the mistreatment from her audience, as it was not her intention, but by that point the damage was already done. Number 2, Whoopi Goldberg. In author Kitty Kelly's unauthorized Oprah biography, Kelly claims that Whoopi Goldberg became a persona non grata, aka unwelcome to Oprah, after Whoopi was nominated for an Oscar for her role in The Color Purple. The book noted that following the honor, the comedian never appears on Oprah's show again, and was noticeably shunned from her 2006 Legends Ball. It wasn't until Oprah invited the entire cast of The Color Purple onto the show that the so-called feud was addressed. It turned out that Oprah had actually ran into Whoopi at Tyler Perry's party sometime after the 2006 snub, and Whoopi confronted her, leading to an adorable moment between them. She asked Oprah why she was mad, to which Oprah replied, "Why am I mad at you? I thought you were mad at me." And after this, they mutually agreed that they really should have just picked up the phone a long time ago and settled the dispute. And coming in at number 1, Cindy Crawford. The model and actress called out Oprah over her 1986 interview that took place on her talk show, where Oprah asked the then 20-year-old to expose herself to the crowd. Cindy reflected on the interview in a new documentary called The Supermodels on Apple TV+. This documentary spotlights the careers of several models like Naomi Campbell, Linda Evangelista, and of course Cindy Crawford. So in a clip from the documentary, Oprah is heard introducing the then aspiring supermodel to the Oprah Winfrey Show before she asked, "Did she always have this body? This is unbelievable. Stand up. Now that is what I call a body." At this point, Cindy is visibly uncomfortable, and then she stands up before the studio audience cheered and showed off her figure. According to Cindy, she felt like a child in that moment being told what to do. She felt that the moment was more of a show us why you're worthy of being here type of situation. At the time, this was just some weird thing that Oprah asked her to do, but eventually it morphed and mutated into one of the most uncomfortable moments of her early years in modeling. The most shocking thing for her was the fact that this was Oprah Winfrey trying to tell her what to do. The woman who was supposedly known for her kindness and generosity also made her feel like a puppet.
Number 10, the NDAs. Confidentiality agreements are not uncommon in the world of Hollywood. Marvel will literally have someone take you out even if a single line leaks to the public. In Kitty Kelly's tell-all book about Oprah, the author mentions the confidentiality agreements that co-workers and guest stars are made to sign. This included everyone from Tom Cruise to the person who made his muffins. Over 500 staff members were forced to sign this document, and one former employee, Elizabeth Cody, tried to write a book about her time working for Oprah, but she was apparently stopped by the courts, still being tied to the agreement that she had signed. The NDAs were not meant to be a way to just keep show secrets safe, but any and all of Oprah's secrets as well. According to Elizabeth, the documents were signed by almost everyone in her life. She may have this brand of sweetness and kindness, but that is not how she is. Elizabeth felt that she was in Oprah's pocket after she signed the paperwork. In 2010, a lawsuit was filed against Oprah, and her company, Unicus Performance Training, claimed that they were fired for violating the terms of her agreement, specifically involving advertising with her name or the website or the show. Number 9, a diva. On air, Oprah is portrayed as a wholesome, sweet lady, but according to her stepmom, there is an unknown side to this woman. Hidden from fans for years, according to Barbara, Oprah is one of the most controlling people you'll ever meet. She claims that Oprah would not allow them to stay at her house when they tried to visit, forcing them to stay in hotels with money out of their own pockets. Barbara also said that Oprah was quick to anger when it came to her staff, with several people being fired left and right over the years, but that's not all. Despite being a billionaire, Barbara allows her to stay at her home for visits, something that Oprah apparently hates. The first time she stayed over, Oprah allegedly complained that her bed sheets were not 1,000 threads and her bath towel wasn't big enough. I get the bath towel thing, big bath towels for the win, never going back. This woman has billions of dollars to do literally anything she wants, and what she wants to do apparently is just make her stepmom's life a living hell. Number 8, controversial beliefs. Oprah has had plenty of controversial people on her show, from medical experts, fake psychologists, to celebrities. Whatever Whatever's good for TV is good for Oprah, but one particular incident that caused a ton of backlash for Oprah was when she did an interview with Suzanne Summers. She was brought onto the show to share her beauty secrets and how she was able to look so young. Well, according to some, this treatment that she does on a regular basis will help. Suzanne claimed that she rubs estrogen cream into her skin on one arm and smears progesterone onto the other arm. Progesterone is just a fancy way of saying steroids. She also claimed that she took 60 supplements and vitamins a day, 40 in the morning and 20 before bed. What really stirred the pot was that this woman claimed to be a health expert and a self-help author, but surprise, surprise, doctor, she is not. Medical experts started bashing Oprah, claiming that this type of extreme hormone therapy would actually be the cause of several diseases and illnesses, you know, like cancer. Despite Suzanne's claims that her specially made non-FDA approved bioidenticals are natural and safe, they're actually just synthetic, conventional hormones that you can buy at a pharmacy. Oprah did everything in her power to sell this idea to her audience, believing 100% that the methods were useful, even claiming to have used some of these methods that made her feel incredible. So this lady would rather risk her audience getting cancer than just telling them the truth. That is solid. Number 7, an advocate for Maui. Oprah was claiming to be many things during the whole Maui backlash thing. A good boss, a charitable woman, and an advocate for the island of Maui. By starting her Maui fund and donating her spare millions, she made her mark in the public as a woman who she cares so much that she's asking you to give her money as well. Isn't that nice? As I've mentioned in previous videos, Oprah would not care about Maui or its people if she didn't have a vested stake on the island. Oprah's had property in Maui for quite some time, being almost a second home to her, and when the fire started raging, she started funding. But think about all the other things that have happened in the past couple of years around the world. We all forgot about Australia on fire in 2020. Western Canada was on fire at the beginning of this year. Some parts of Florida have been underwater for months, yet Oprah has decided to dedicate her time and money to helping an area where she has a vacation home. Number 6, the free cars. Now, who could forget Oprah's famous words, "You get a car, everybody gets a car." The moment was historical on her series and was parodied time and time again, and it still does get parodied to this day. However, what a lot of people don't know is that it wasn't as simple as, here are some keys, have fun. When someone gives out anything on television, there's a catch. For Oprah's audience, the catch was, if they wanted to drive away in a brand new car, they'd have to pay $7,000 in taxes first. While Oprah's studio would cover the sales tax and registration for each car, which was a lot, the audience members were given a choice to either pay the $7,000 and take their car home, or just simply take the cash instead. The infamous moment on the show featured 11 teachers who were, according to Oprah, in desperate need of a car. They, along with the audience, received keys in a box on camera that Oprah claimed to be for their new cars. Everything has a catch even now. For someone who is known to be charitable and generous, the word free really means something different to Oprah. Number 5, there were fabricated memoirs. Oprah launched her book club in 1996, a reading encouraging segment from her talk show. It turned any book that she liked into a bestseller. In September of 2005, she picked A Million Little Pieces, a brutal and painful memoir by James Frett about his years-long struggle with substance control issues. A Million Little Pieces became a best-selling non-fiction book of that year, and Frey was asked to appear on her talk show to discuss the book. Oprah called it gut-wrenching. However, the following year, a news outlet ran a pretty expositive article about Frey after it was discovered that he made up or juiced large portions of his memoir. For example, there's a section of the book that tells a story of Frey surviving a fatal crash that took the lives of 2 teenagers when he was never on that train nor had any involvement in the situation. Weeks after the article broke, Oprah asked Frey to come back onto the show, where he faced livid viewers and an even more livid Oprah. She told James that she felt duped and betrayed, a feeling that was shared by her audience and millions of people around the world. She asked why James felt the need to lie to herself and the readers, and he tried everything, making every excuse that he could think of. He claimed that he altered a lot of the details, but that the overall plot was real. The studio audience responded with waves of boos and gasps and groans. Winfrey later apologized for the mistreatment from her audience because it wasn't her intention, but the damage had already been done. His career as a writer is currently non-existent. Let's talk about some of the celebrities that she has had interactions with. Number 4, Cindy Crawford. Model and actress Cindy Crawford has called Oprah out over their 1986 interview that took place on her show, where Oprah asked the then 20-year-old to expose herself to the crowd. Crawford reflected on the interview in a new documentary called The Supermodels on Apple TV+. Everyone has a plus now. The documentary spotlights the careers of several models like Naomi Campbell, Linda Evangelista, and of course Cindy Crawford. In a clip from the documentary, Winfrey is heard introducing the then aspiring aspiring supermodel to the Oprah Winfrey Show before she is asked, "Did she always have this body? I mean, this is unbelievable. Come on, stand up. Now that's what I call a body." Thank you, that is my impression of Oprah. She is visibly uncomfortable and sheepishly stands up before the studio audience cheered as she showed off her figure. According to Cindy, she felt like a child in that moment being told what to do by her superior. She felt that the moment was more of a show us why you're worthy of being here type situation than anything else. At the time, this was just some weird thing that Oprah asked her to do, but it morphed and mutated into one of the most uncomfortable moments in her early years in modeling. The most shocking thing for her was the fact that it was Oprah Winfrey trying to tell her what to do. The woman who was known for her kindness and generosity made her feel like a puppet. Number 3. Where's the beef? In spring of 1996, the United Kingdom apparently experienced an outbreak of bovine spongiform encephalopathy, or mad cow disease, since I probably butchered that last part. According to the FDA, the disease destroys cows' central nervous system, and if humans eat it, then we get zombies! No, but they can contract a deadly variant called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. During the mad cow scare, the Oprah Winfrey Show booked Howard Lyman. The former cattle rancher had adopted a vegetarian lifestyle, and he went to work for the Humane Society's Eating with Conscience animal welfare campaign, and he appeared on the show to discuss the threat of mad cow to Americans. He pointed out that feeding the remains of mad cow to infected cattle or any other animals could have facilitated a spread, and such practices were apparently common in the United States. Oprah was stunned and vowed that she would never eat a burger again. And it turns out her influence and her millions of viewers were so large that only a few hours after that statement and the episode aired, she declared to never eat a hamburger ever again, and the price of beef stock plummeted, staying at an all-time low for 2 months. One Texas rancher actually lost an estimated $6.7 million that year and organized a class action lawsuit against Oprah and her show for talking trash about American beef. After about 6 weeks of a trial, she won, leaving one man with no farm and out thousands of extra dollars in legal fees. Number 2, Tom Cruise. Despite this man being in the Mission Impossible franchise, he's been in a lot of movies produced by himself. You didn't think Hollywood forgot about Oprah, did you? Following the announcement that he was engaged to Katie Holmes in the early 2000s, Tom appeared on an episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show, and it has gone down as one of the most iconic TV moments of all time. From the moment he steps on stage, things are just going wrong. He throws arms in the air, he rubs Oprah's shoulder like she's got a stain that just won't come out. Tom jumped on her couch, grabbed her hands over and over. She couldn't even get any questions out. Eventually, Oprah was like, "Okay, I'm done, bring Katie out," and then Tom is just running through the hallways as cameras follow him Blair Witch style. The moment cemented Tom as a man with many hidden personalities, and while it has not affected his work as an actor per se, ever since that day, whenever he's brought in for press of any kind or interviews, all entrances and exits must be locked at all times for everyone's safety. Again, this man may be in movies still, but they're rarely anything new or good. Number 1, Whoopi Goldberg. In author Kitty Kelly's unauthorized Oprah biography, Kelly claims that Whoopi Goldberg became a persona non grata, or an unwelcome person, to Oprah after Whoopi was nominated for an Oscar for her role in the original version of The Color Purple. The book noted that following the honor, the comedian never appeared on Oprah's show again and was noticeably shunned from her 2006 Legends Ball. It wasn't until Oprah invited the entire cast of The Color Purple onto the show that the so-called feud was addressed. It turns out Oprah actually ran into Whoopi at Tyler Perry's party sometime around 2006, just after the snub. Goldberg confronted Oprah, leading to a hilariously adorable moment between them. She asked if she was mad at her, to which Oprah said, "I thought you were mad at me. Well, that's crazy." They mutually agreed that they really should have just picked up the phone a long time ago and settled the dispute.
Number 10, Cindy Crawford. Model and actress Cindy Crawford has called Oprah out over their 1986 interview that took place on her show, where Oprah asked the then 20-year-old to expose herself to the crowd. Crawford reflected on the interview in a new documentary called The Supermodels on Apple TV+. Everyone has a plus now. The documentary spotlights the career of several models like Naomi Campbell, Linda Evangelista, and of course Cindy Crawford. In a clip from the documentary, Winfrey is heard introducing the then aspiring supermodel to the Oprah Winfrey Show before she asked her, "Did she always have this body? This is unbelievable. Stand up, now that's what I call a body." She is visibly uncomfortable and sheepishly stands up before the studio audience cheered as she showed off her figure. According to Cindy, she felt like a child in that moment, being told what to do by her superior. She felt that the moment was more of a show us why you're worthy of being here type situation. At the time, this is just one of those weird things that Oprah asked her to do, but it morphed and mutated into one of the most uncomfortable moments in her early years in modeling. The most shocking thing for her was the fact that this was Oprah Winfrey trying to tell her what to do. The woman known for her kindness and generosity made her feel like a puppet. Number 9, Seth MacFarlane. The creator of Family Guy and the TED series is not a fan of Miss Oprah Winfrey. During the whole 2020 situation with the masks and the isolation, you know what I'm talking about, Seth decided to share some words of wisdom about Oprah Winfrey. He started by acknowledging that Oprah had done some pretty altruistic things with her career, but that she used her platform to amplify the voices of outlandish characters rather than legitimate scientists or medical professionals. The post included a link to the LA Times that discussed the misinformation from Dr. Phil, and of course Dr. Oz. He was claiming that a ton of what was discussed on their shows was nothing more than misinformation and entertaining disasters. The Cash Me Outside girl, the purple guy who drank silver water like it was his job, and so many more that I can't actually talk about online. He called Oprah Winfrey out for starting as a legitimate show with the goal of educating and instead morphed into this misinformation platform. Number 8. Rose McGowan. A ton of A-listers out there will be on Oprah's side through thick and thin, just the way it is. However, Scream alumni and Me Too activist Rose McGowan is not one of those people. The former Charm star tweeted a photo from 2014 involving Oprah kissing the cheek of one of the most disgraced men in Hollywood history. Can't really say his name, but you know exactly who I'm talking about. The photo was taken from the 2014 Critics' Choice Movie Awards. She posted about on Twitter that she was glad to see the ugly truth about Oprah coming to light, and she said that she wished Oprah was real, but sadly she was not. According to Rose, she is as fake as they come, #lizard. Winfrey claimed that she did not know what was going on back then and regretted being so close to such a terrible man. A terrible man that I really wish we could talk about, but nope, that's not happening. Number 6. Kid Rock. So Kid has never really been shy about his opinions on anything, especially when it comes to Oprah. A while back, Kid Rock was escorted out of his own steakhouse in Nashville for ranting about Oprah in an alcohol-fueled tirade. He told TMZ that his PR team actually tried to get him on Oprah at one point, and apparently Oprah's team wanted Kid to write down 5 reasons why he loved their show. He then said F that and threw away the offer. Over the following years and to this day, he has tweeted his opinions and feelings towards Oprah, with the big summary being that he just doesn't vibe with her, literally saying that he could not explain why. Well, maybe it was because he didn't believe that she was nice or charitable, but that he was certain that she was secretly a menace, and look where we are now. Number 6. Mel Gibson. There has been a ton of misinformation spread across the internet since this whole Oprah situation has gone down. For a while, people really believed that Jason Momoa and Tom Hanks had inside information on Oprah, and that it needed to be shared with the world. But that was all a lie, and neither of those people ever said a word about Oprah. Another celebrity brought into the mix for some reason is Mel Gibson, a man fueled by controversy. For the past few weeks, clips and comments have been making their way across the globe, alleging that Mel Gibson has the inside scoop on Oprah's secret agenda, ready to share it with the world, but that once again turned out not to be true. In fact, it was just someone who really loves using AI to try and make content. In fact, Mel has spoken out about claiming that he has never received inside info on Oprah, and that he was fairly neutral on this so-called hate towards her. Number 5. Seal. This man may be known for his vocal chops, but he should also be known for meme-making abilities. Just days after the Golden Globes, Seal posted a meme on Instagram consisting of several photos of Oprah Winfrey cozying up with a man who I will not be naming. He's a guy who produced half of Quentin Tarantino's movies and was a main character of the Me Too movement that happened back in 2017. He and Oprah were photographed spending time together, and one photo even made it look like Oprah was pushing singer Rita Ora towards him. Seal captioned the image saying a bunch of stuff that I just cannot quote, but the meme itself read, "When you have been part of the problem for a decade, but suddenly they all think you are the solution." Well, I'm not sure how deep this feud goes, but on the surface it seems like Seal has been trying to warn us that something is up for years. Number 4. Ice Cube. Ice may have gotten his career thanks to his epic music chops, both as a solo artist as well as during his time with the NWA. But these days you probably know him as the guy from Ride Along or 21 Jump Street. Ice Cube started acting in movies in 1991, debuting in the film Boys in the Hood as Doughboy. He continued to act over and over again, starring in movies like Friday, Anaconda, and Are We There Yet? His dislike for Oprah comes from the fact that while he has starred in several films and has become more widely known for those films, she's never actually invited him onto the show. She's even asked his co-stars to appear rather than himself on multiple occasions. In 2006, Ice Cube expressed his frustrations, saying that his barbershop co-stars Cedric the Entertainer and Eve were all invited onto the show while he was left on the sidelines. He pointed out how crazy that is, the fact that she's had all these people with dark pasts and convictions, plus if he wasn't a rags to riches story, then who was? We did get a little piece of that story in the film Straight Outta Compton in 2015, a film that received massive critical success and that was never mentioned on Oprah's show. Number 3. Jason Momoa. Aquaman, the enemy of Don Torito, and now the man speaking out on the Oprah Maui scandal, Jason Momoa is a gifted actor and by all accounts a gifted person too. Recently, several news outlets have claimed that Jason is on the opposing side of the fund. According to these outlets, Jason posted a video to Instagram where he addresses the fires and offers his own support to the victims. While never mentioning anyone by name, he mentions that some may use this as a way to exploit or make profit, but that is not his intentions. The clip went viral, and as you can guess, many outlets were interpreting everything that they could, with the big headlines being Jason Momoa calls out Oprah for wildfires. While not completely inaccurate, the general consensus is that there is no bad blood between these people. Jason has yet to specify who would actually be profiting from this, but since the backlash, he has been posting videos on a regular basis, updating his followers on the situation, and also his position in assisting with things so far. Of course, Jason has donated money to the People's Fund and has also teamed up with Dwayne Johnson to do public functions and collaborations to raise awareness and scrape together as much money for the people of Maui as possible. Number 2, Ludacris. Ludacris appeared on Oprah in 2004 to promote the film Crash. He claimed that Oprah ambushed him with criticism about hip-hop lyrics instead of talking about the critically acclaimed movie that he was there to plug. Ludacris has since claimed that Oprah edited the show to make herself seem more favorable to audience members. He said that during a separate interview that she had edited out a lot of his comments while keeping her own in. Of course, it is her show, but they were doing a show on racial discrimination, and she gave Ludacris a hard time as a rapper when he came on her show as an actor. He then revealed that his interview was extremely last minute, not knowing if it was a real thing roughly 24 hours before. Following the interview on Oprah, she pulled him aside to a green room where he claims to have been berated by her. According to Oprah, having a rapper on her show made her feel like she was empowering them. He said that it was like being at someone's house who really doesn't want you there, and at that point he had already been very uncomfortable, but that was a little cherry on top. Her main concern was his use of the N-word in lyrics, but he quickly pointed out the hypocrisy of having people like Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock on the show. These guys were also famous for using the slur in their sets. Oprah's shadiness was on full display following that interview from Ludacris. Number 1, herself. Oprah is taking the top spot on a list of people exposing Oprah, because yes, she has been doing it since day one. Her talk show is all about bringing the most vulnerable people onto her show to get views. She's brought in violence victims, health experts, fake psychologists, and convicted felons onto her program, all for the sake of profit. As the years went by, her style was adapted by more and more studios, creating shows like Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, both equally as controversial. Not to mention a few years ago when she wrote a book detailing her early life and rise to the top, revealing some truly dark truths about her home life. She herself was considered to be a tyrant by her family, but it seems that whatever negative juju lived in that house, it really rubbed off on her.
Number 10, an advocate for Maui. Oprah has been claiming to be many things since this Maui backlash thing has started. A good boss, a charitable woman, and an advocate for the island of Maui. By starting this fund and donating her spare millions, she's made her mark in the public as a woman who cares. So much so that she's asking you to give her your money. Isn't that nice? As mentioned in previous videos, Oprah would not care about Maui or its people if she didn't have a vested stake on the island. Oprah's had property in Maui for quite some time, being almost a second home to her. When the fire started raging, she started fundraising. Think about all of the things that have happened in the past few years. We all forgot about Australia being set on fire in 2020. A lot of Western Canada was on fire earlier this year, and some parts of Florida have been underwater for a long time, and they just kind of live with it. Yet Oprah has dedicated her time and money to helping out the area where she has a vacation home. Do with that what you will. Number 9, the NDAs. Confidentiality agreements are not uncommon in the world of Hollywood. Marvel will literally track you down if you say anything about their movies to anyone. In Kitty Kelly's tell-all book about Oprah, the author mentions there were confidentiality agreements that co-workers and guests were made to sign. This included everyone from Tom Cruise to the guy who made his breakfast in the morning. Over 500 staff members were forced to sign these documents, with one former employee, Elizabeth Cody, trying to write a book about her time working for Oprah, but she was eventually stopped by the courts, still being tied to the agreement. The NDAs were not meant to be a way to just keep show secrets safe, but any and all of Oprah's secrets as well. According to Elizabeth, the document was signed by almost everybody in Oprah's life, and she may have had this brand of sweetness and kindness, but that it was just not how she was. Elizabeth felt that she was in Oprah's pocket after she signed the paperwork. In 2010, there was even a lawsuit filed against Oprah and her company from a training performance center that was claiming that they were fired for violating the terms of her agreement, but all they did was just advertise that they were doing stuff for her show, so I'm not sure what's wrong there. Number 8, diva. On air, Oprah is portrayed as this wholesome, sweet lady, but according to her stepmother, there's actually this unknown side to Oprah, hidden from fans for years. According to Barbara, Oprah is one of the most controlling people that you're ever gonna meet. She claims that Oprah does not allow herself and her husband to stay at Oprah's home whenever they try to visit, which means that they have to stay in hotels with money out of their own pockets. Barbara also said that Oprah was very quick to anger when it came to her staff especially, with a lot of people being fired over the years left and right for the littlest things. But that's not all. Despite being a billionaire, Barbara allows Oprah to stay at her home when she visits, which she just complains about the entire time. The first time she ever stayed there, Oprah allegedly complained that her bed sheets weren't 1,000 threads and that her bath towel wasn't big enough, but that's fair. This woman has billions of dollars to do literally anything she wants, and what she wants to do is make her family feel like a burden to the world. Number 7, controversial beliefs. Oprah has had plenty of controversial people onto her show, from so-called medical experts to psychologists to celebrities. Whatever's good for TV, it's good for Oprah. One particular incident that caused a ton of backlash for Oprah was when she did an interview with Suzanne Summers. She was brought onto the show to share her beauty secrets on how she was able to look so young. According to Summers, this treatment that she does on a regular basis would help people. She claimed that she rubs estrogen cream into her skin on one arm and smears progesterone into the other arm. Progesterone is just a fancy way of saying steroids. She also claimed that she took 60 supplements and vitamins a day, 40 in the morning and 20 before bed. What really stirred the pot was that this woman claimed to be a health expert and self-help author, but surprise, surprise, doctor, she was not. Medical experts started bashing Oprah, claiming that this type of extreme hormone therapy was actually the cause of several diseases and illnesses, like cancer. Despite Suzanne's claims that her specially made non-FDA approved bioidenticals were natural and safe, they were actually just synthetic conventional hormones that you could buy from a pharmacy. A little label smacked on the front. Oprah did everything in her power to sell this idea to her audience, believing 100% that these methods were useful, even claiming to have used the methods to make herself feel incredible. So Oprah would rather risk her audience getting cancer than telling them the truth. Solid. Number 6. The free cars. Who could forget Oprah's famous words? You get a car, you get a car, everybody got a car. The moment was historical on her series and was parodied time and time again, and it still does to this day. However, what a lot of people do not know is that it wasn't as simple as here's some car keys, go have fun. That would be insane. No, when someone gives you anything on television, especially if it's free, there's a catch. For Oprah's audience, the catch was that if they wanted to drive away in their brand new car, they'd have to pay over $7,000 in taxes first. While Oprah's studio would cover the sales tax and registration for the cars, their audience members were given a choice to either pay $7,000 and take the car, or just simply keep that cash instead. The famous moment she shouted this on the show featured 11 real teachers who were, according to Oprah, in desperate need of a new car. They, along with the audience members, received keys in a box on camera that Oprah claimed to be for their new cars. Everything has a catch though, even now. For someone who is known for being charitable and generous, the word free really does mean something different to Oprah. Number 5. The fabricated memoirs. This is a time when Oprah kind of ruined someone's life when she brought them onto her show. Oprah launched her book club in 1996, a reading encouraging segment from her talk show that turned any book that she chose into a bestseller. In September 2005, Winfrey picked A Million Little Pieces, a brutal and painful memoir by James Frett about his years-long struggle with substance control issues. A Million Little Pieces became the best-selling nonfiction book of that year, and Frey was asked to appear on her talk show to discuss the book that Oprah called gut-wrenching. However, the following year, a news outlet ran a very expositive article about Frey after it was discovered that he made up or juiced large portions of his memoir. For example, there is a section of the book that tells a story of Frey surviving a fatal train crash that took the lives of 2 teenagers. Well, he was never on that train and he didn't have anything to do with that situation. He just wrote about it and was like, I was there. Weeks after the article broke, Oprah asked Frey to return to the show, where he faced livid viewers and an even more livid Oprah. She told James that she felt duped and betrayed, which was a feeling that was shared by her audience and millions of readers around the world. When she asked James why he felt the need to lie to herself and her readers, he tried everything, making every excuse he could think of, and he claimed that he altered a lot of details, but that the overall plot was real. While the studio audience responded with a massive wave of boos, gasps, and groans, and Winfrey later apologized for the mistreatment from her audience, because that wasn't her intention. But the damage was already done, and this dude's career as a writer is non-existent. Number 4. Lance Armstrong. 7-time Tour de France winner Lance Armstrong has gone down in in history as a man who's unable to ride a bike without chemical training wheels. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2013, Lance was brought on to discuss the allegations floating around regarding his status as a Tour de France winner. Several sources claimed that Lance had to take performance-enhancing substances to win each and every race, as well as a type of transfusion involving the red life juice that flows inside all of us. Armstrong went on air and fessed up to every single thing that people were claiming he had done. However, he did deny the notion that he was like a mastermind who would control his teammates and force them to join in his extracurricular activities. But amidst his admission of guilt, say that 10 times fast, there was a moment where he tried to pin the situation on his battle with cancer. He wraps it up by saying that he should have tried harder to cancel the culture rather than to create a problem. Well, unfortunately for him, he was stripped of all 7 Tour de France titles and has since lived in exile among the cycling community. Number 3. Where's the beef? In spring of 1996, the United Kingdom apparently experienced an outbreak of bovine spongiform encephalopathy, or mad cow disease, since I can't pronounce that last word. According to the FDA, the disease destroys cows' central nervous system, and if humans eat the infected meat, you get zombies that can't. No, you can contract a deadly variant called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, probably named after the first dude who got the disease. During the mad cow scare, the Oprah Winfrey Show booked Howard Lyman. The former cattle rancher had adopted a vegetarian lifestyle, and he went to work for the Humane Society's Eating with Co-Science Animal Welfare campaign, and he appeared on the show to discuss the threat of mad cows to America. He pointed out that feeding the remains of mad cow to infected cattle or other animals could have facilitated the spread, and that a lot of that was happening in the US right then and there. Oprah was stunned and vowed that she would never eat another burger ever again. Well, it turns out her influence and her millions of viewers were so large that only a few hours after the episode aired and she declared that she wasn't eating hamburgers ever again, the price of beef stock plummeted, staying at an all-time low for 2 months. In fact, one Texas rancher lost an estimated $6.7 million and organized a class action lawsuit against Oprah and her show for talking trash about beef. After a 6-week trial, she won, leaving one dude with no farm and out hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. Number 2, trespasser. So, there's a video circulating the internet that a lot of people are interpreting as a direct message to Oprah Winfrey. Jason Momoa released a video on his Instagram a few weeks ago urging tourists not to come to Maui as the place was on fire and, they didn't need anybody's help. He claimed that he appreciated anyone sharing love for the people of Maui and continued to say that there was someone trying to scam people out of money that was pretending to be him online. After sharing links to several sites that were directly linked to putting money into the pockets of the people of Maui, fans decided to focus on the bit about people staying away. Now, at the same time that this was happening, Oprah and The Rock had announced the People's Fund of Maui, and the thing was that caused a lot of backlash for Oprah. And in Jason's video, he does not include a link to the charity and doesn't even acknowledge its existence. He has since spoken about the charity, but has never actually said the names Oprah or Dwayne out loud. People are just putting 2 and 2 together though, and the internet has decided that Jason Momoa has called Oprah Winfrey a trespasser. Number 1, Whoopi Goldberg. In author Kitty Kelly's unauthorized Oprah biography, Kelly claims that Whoopi Goldberg became a persona non grata, or an unwelcome person in Oprah's life, after Whoopi was nominated for an Oscar for her role in The Color Purple. The book noted that following the honor, the comedian never appeared on Oprah's show again and was noticeably shunned from her 2006 Legends Ball. It wasn't until Oprah invited the entire cast of The Color Purple onto the show that the so-called feud was addressed. It turns out that Oprah had actually ran into Whoopi at Tyler Perry's party sometime after the 2006 snub. Goldberg confronted Oprah, leading to a hilariously adorable moment where Oprah asked why Whoopi was mad at her, to which Whoopi was like, "I'm not mad at you, I thought you were mad at me, what's going on here?" They mutually agreed that they really should have just picked up the phone a long time ago and figured the whole thing out and settled the dispute.
Let's jump right in with Rose McGowan. We're gonna discuss the controversies surrounding Hollywood's prominent figures and their relationship with talk show host Oprah Winfrey. Rose McGowan, an influential figure in the #MeToo movement and star of the Scream franchise, is distanced from this trend. McGowan brought attention to a photo from the 2014 Critics' Choice Movie Awards, which shows Winfrey kissing a disgraced producer in Hollywood. McGowan captioned her tweet with some strong words, saying, "I'm glad more are seeing the ugly truth of @Oprah. I wish she were real, but she isn't," and added that she is supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come, #lizard. This tweet sparked a lot of debate and speculation among fans, with some defending Winfrey and others criticizing her. However, it's important to note that this is not the first time McGowan has called out Winfrey. Now, we all know how relevant Oprah has remained within the industry, so do you think she's part of the problem in Hollywood? I mean, she's pretty powerful. Let us know in the comments below. On to the next, Seth McFarlane. McFarlane? I don't know. In a tweet posted in 2020, McFarlane acknowledged Winfrey's positive influence through her career as a television host and philanthropist, and praised her for using her platform to bring attention to important issues and making a positive impact in society. However, he also expressed his disappointment in Winfrey's frequent promotion of pseudoscience and conspiracy theories on her talk show. He urged Winfrey to use her influential voice to promote facts and science instead of spreading misinformation. This tweet sparked a debate among fans of both McFarlane and Winfrey. Some supported Seth's call for accountability, while others defended Winfrey's right to her own opinions. Despite their differences in opinion, both McFarlane and Winfrey have used their platforms to bring attention to important social issues. Even those who we admire and respect are not immune to criticism and should be held accountable for their actions. Kid Rock. Kid Rock has never been one to hide his feelings towards Oprah Winfrey. As TMZ highlighted before, Kid Rock had a public outburst about Winfrey at his own establishment, Kid Rock's Big Honky Tonk and Steakhouse in Nashville, which resulted in him being escorted out. He tweeted, "Years ago, my team tried to get me on the Oprah Winfrey show. Her team wanted me to list 5 reasons why I loved her and her show. I flatly refused. That's the end of it." Kid Rock hasn't been shy about expressing his feelings. In 2008, he clarified his sentiments, telling The Independent, "Oprah Winfrey just doesn't sit well with me. I don't trust her. Maybe that's because I'm not one of the 150 million women who hang on her every word." Damn. Kid Rock has made his disdain for Oprah evident on multiple occasions. In 2010, he went as far as calling her a bitch during a live performance at the CMA Awards. However, Kid Rock's animosity towards Winfrey seems to stem from more than just personal feelings. In an interview with The Guardian in 2015, Kid Rock explained his dislike for Winfrey by saying, "I don't hate Oprah, quite the opposite. I have a lot of admiration and respect for what she's been able to accomplish in her career. My issue is with the way she uses her platform to push certain agendas and manipulate public opinion." It's obvious Kid Rock believes Winfrey has too much influence over her viewers and uses it to push her own agenda. He also expressed concern over the potential for her to sway political opinions, stating, "I think that's where a lot of people get turned off by Oprah or any celebrity using their platform for political gain." Up next is Seal. Singer Seal didn't hold back his disapproval of Winfrey making his feelings known on social media. Back in 2018, the acclaimed vocalist, best known for his hit song Kiss from a Rose, leveled allegations against Winfrey, claiming she had knowledge of a disgraced producer whose name shall not be named, his actions for decades. He posted a now deleted Instagram photo of Winfrey with said producer with a scathing caption, "You'd heard the rumors, hadn't you? Yet you turned a blind eye to the truth that he was preying on unsuspecting, ambitious young actresses. Apologies for my oversight." He continued, "When you've been a part of the problem for decades, yet everyone suddenly sees you as the solution, #sanctimonious Hollywood." Singer Seal's comments about Oprah Winfrey and disgraced producer sparked controversy and brought attention to the larger issue of assault and harassment in Hollywood. While some praised Seal for speaking out, others criticized him for his harsh words towards Winfrey. This incident also highlighted the complicated relationship between celebrities and their involvement in important social issues. It serves as a reminder that everyone has a responsibility to educate themselves and use their platform for good. The conversation about misconduct in the entertainment industry continues, and it is important to listen to all voices and work towards creating a safer environment for everyone. So we must ensure that our society provides equal opportunities and safe spaces for all individuals. Only then can we truly progress towards a more inclusive and just society. Up next, Ludacris. Following his role in the 2004 movie Crash, Ludacris, otherwise known as Christopher Brian Bridges, made an appearance on Winfrey's TV program. The intent was to discuss the film, but the conversation took a different turn. Ludacris told GQ, "She got many of my points, keeping hers intact. It's her show, but we were discussing racial discrimination, and I felt she was challenging me excessively as a rapper, disregarding my role as an actor for the show." He added, "At first I wasn't even invited to the show. It was only the night before when they rang me up to say I could come. After filming, Winfrey and I had a short 5-minute chat. The impression I got was that she believes by hosting rappers, she's giving them more power. It felt like being in a place where you're not welcome. It was already quite awkward." Following the controversial interview, Ludacris received backlash from both fans and critics. Many accused him of being disrespectful towards Winfrey and not understanding the purpose of her show. However, Ludacris defended himself by stating that he was simply speaking his truth and standing up for himself. The incident shed light on a larger issue within the entertainment industry, the portrayal of rappers and hip-hop artists. Many have argued that these artists are often stigmatized and pigeonholed into negative stereotypes, while their talents as actors or intellectuals are overlooked. Jason Momoa. In the aftermath of the devastating wildfires that swept through Maui in August 2023, Hollywood star Jason Momoa pointed fingers at two prominent figures, Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Momoa charged them with, in his own words, stealing money from the poor. This controversy arose from a fundraising initiative that Winfrey and Johnson had organized with the aim of aiding the victims of these wildfires. In the months following the controversy, both Winfrey and Johnson have responded to Momoa's allegations. In an exclusive interview with Oprah magazine, Winfrey stated that she was deeply saddened by Momoa's accusations and denied any wrongdoing on her part. She explained that the fundraiser had been a collaborative effort with Johnson and that all of the proceeds went towards helping the victims of the wildfires. She also added that she had personally donated a large sum to the cause. Angelina Jolie, in an unexpected twist, it appears that two globally recognized humanitarians, Angelina and Oprah, have had some friction. When Winfrey was launching her esteemed project, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, she reportedly reached out to Jolie for assistance. However, according to an insider's account shared with Star Magazine, in 2007, Jolie declined. Winfrey had anticipated Jolie's support given her love for Africa. Disappointed, Winfrey vowed never to ask for Jolie's help in her humanitarian projects in the future. The source also claimed that there might be unresolved issues between the two, stemming from Winfrey's support for Jennifer Aniston during the well-publicized split with Brad Pitt. In recent years, there have been multiple reports of tension and rivalry between Angelina and Oprah. While both women are highly influential figures in their respective fields, many wonder what has caused this apparent friction between them. David Letterman. Many assume the beef between David and Oprah started because of an awkward joke at the 1995 Academy Awards, but according to Letterman, the disagreement actually sparked well before that. In a 2010 episode of The Daily Show, he told Jon Stewart, "The feud predates the Academy Awards. She had a problem with me long before then." He narrated an encounter from a vacation they both happened to be on. Oprah was with Stedman and I was with my then girlfriend Regina. We were having lunch at the same restaurant. I jokingly told Regina, "Let's have Oprah pick up our check," and that's what happened. Letterman convinced the waiter that Winfrey would pay for their lunch. This, according to Letterman, is where the feud started, but Oprah has a different take on the feud's origin. In a 2012 interview with CBS News, she said she felt uncomfortable on his show and avoided any contact with him for 16 years, during which he continuously made jokes at her expense. They've since reconciled their differences. Joan Rivers. In her first national television debut on The Tonight Show in 1985, Oprah Winfrey faced an unexpected blow from the late Joan Rivers. As Winfrey recounts in her book, Food, Health, and Happiness, she was just getting comfortable when Rivers threw a curveball question, "So how'd you gain the weight?" Winfrey was taken aback on her big day with the word fat echoing in her mind. Winfrey explains further that Rivers, from behind Johnny's large desk, scolded her for letting herself gain weight. Rivers' manicured finger pointed at her, reminding her of her single status and challenging her to lose 15 pounds before her next visit. And finally, 50 Cent. In the 2006 edition of Elle magazine, rapper 50 Cent made a controversial comment about Oprah Winfrey, referring to her as an Oreo. He voiced his dissatisfaction, arguing that while Oprah started her career focusing on the perspectives of black women, she had gradually shifted her attention towards middle-aged white American women to such an extent that he believed she had become one of them. To throw further shade on Oprah, 50 Cent even named his miniature schnauzer after her. However, in 2012, they set their differences aside and had an open discussion on an episode of Oprah's Next Chapter. Visiting 50 Cent at his grandmother's house, Oprah listened as the rapper expressed his grievances about her show's apparent snub of hip-hop artists and her stance against the use of the N-word. The relationship between celebrities and media moguls like Oprah is complex and ever-changing. Some stars have used their platforms to voice their concerns or share their experiences, painting a multifaceted picture of the celebrity life and the media industry.